Okay, that's not for another couple levels. Anything I can make to supplement my damage? Can't equip? I can equip bows. Oh, well, I don't have any... See, that's interesting. That means I could keep ranged. And it still affects my abilities. This is where interesting build comes into effect ever since they made your abilities based on weapon damage. My abilities would be based on that 14.7 damage per second. And yet I would still have a ranged ability of shooting the bow and arrow if I ran out of mana. Don't think I'm going to go that way. Dagger, that's only 9 per second, but it does have vital and random. What is this? 11. Vital, random, vital, so they're all vital. 2. I'll take only 2 essences. Of course, bows are two-handed, and that gives plus... Anything that gives plus the damage is usually pretty nice. So 9 and 11. So let's just go ahead and try and make a broadsword. Shall we? I did not just try to kill a townsperson. Seriously, did not. Okay, and what we're going to do is see if we can't proc intelligence. That would be really nice, actually, because you can. That one random property can be intelligence. So let's just craft. I'm going to craft maybe 3. Vital and attack speed, vital and attack speed, vital and monster experience. Well, I think we know which one I'm going to use. And there we have it. Apparently, my witch doctor went to the same magic school as my wizard, swinging around weapons like he just don't care. Bulging, rippling, magical muscles. Okay, so while I might not have gotten intelligence, I did get +2 experience, which, when I'm trying to gain levels as much as possible before fighting the Skeleton King for your enjoyment, this is a good thing. Back to the cemetery. Gosh, if I could... you know, honestly, my mind starts reeling when I see things like that, like being able to use a bow. You know, what kind of builds could I make to supplement that? You know, I could put a pet build out there, right? Get a nice two-handed weapon like that bow, and put it on and just summon, you know, maybe zombie dogs, and of course, there's others that we don't have right now. A gargantuan, fetish, an army, you know, put on a nice two-handed ranged weapon and you just sit there and rain on death from behind while your pets move forward and attack for you.
It's perfect strike.
That was kind of waste of a haunt, as you saw there, as he had already been infected by the first spirit by the time I casted the second. Just get a couple out there, and ooh, they teleport. I just want to make sure I couldn't actually use hand crossbows. I was pretty sure that was a demon hunter only thing. Loose stones. No, that's a gray. Don't pick that up. Don't pick that up. You don't know where it's been. Oh, and we have hit crypt level 2.
The bones beneath this tomb scream of madness and betrayal. The crown is near.
And this is going to be where we really see the damage capabilities against a giant target. There is Manglemaw. What I'm going to go ahead and do is put something down here for him to step in, hit him with Haunt, and just hit him with Poison. Hit him with Haunt again. Slow him down. There you have it. And we have an increase to our Lungadal, 2 to 3 instead of 1 to 2. Lose the regeneration, but that's quite alright. More damage is more damage. Meant actually to hit the skeleton next to him and spread out that damage, but it's quite alright. They still died fairly quickly. Alright, new level, new skill. Let's look at Hunt again. It was 235. It is now 240, so it is increasing at a rate of 5% weapon damage per level. New skill, new skill. Let's see. Horrify, 21 mana. Cooldown of 20 seconds. Scare away nearby enemies. Don a spectral mask that horrifies all enemies within 12 yards, causing them to run in fear for 5 seconds. Not something I'm really going to want to be using on this build because I'm focusing myself on using Grasp of the Dead and getting them all together. Up. I have to apologize. Apparently I'm running into the slowdown issue again where for some reason I am hitting 2 frames per second. So I'll just continue talking about that since I can talk while it's slow. It's not a big deal. But this is obviously not something I'm going to want to use in this instance, but I will go ahead and try it out to just kind of see it. This is another thing I could see when using a range build with, say, pets or something. You want the pets out there attacking, or maybe you want to put out haunts or something like that and let the damage tick while they're keeping away from them. So we're going to go ahead and put it on just to see it after this boss fight, I think. It looks like my frame issue subsided, whatever caused it there. It's kind of weird that I was just standing there and it happened, so hopefully it won't be a burden to us like last time.
I will not allow you to bring that monster Leon back to this world.
Needs more time.
Interesting casting animation.
You found the crown. Truth be told, I didn't think you'd make it back alive. Ah, it needs repair. Should be no problem. It's good to work again. There. New as the day it was placed upon the Black King's head. I need something more than making spades to occupy my mind. I want my life to mean something.
We all seek meaning in grief. Maybe we will find it together.
So what I was doing while he was talking here, I wanted to do the math on Haunt, and it's looking like at 5% per level, it's going to grow by another 260% weapon damage at level 60. Which means that yes, this will hit 500 weapon damage, just like the calculator says on the site. What I've also noticed is that the damage has gone up over 1 more second. So what's strange about that is, when you think about it, the damage has gone up by 5% over time. And here it's gone up again, but because it's over 1 more second, the damage has actually gone back down. So Haunt has probably decreased in power at this point. Still strong, but every second higher that this goes, that weapon damage gets spread over a larger pool, which means it's not as much in like a 1 second burst, for example. So this will do less damage per second while still doing more damage over time. When I looked at the final abilities and how that relates, you're looking at this doing about 33% weapon damage per second at final level if it ends up doing 15 seconds of 500%. To put that in perspective, think of Energy Twister for the Wizard. That does roughly 46% damage per second, so they're kind of aligned there. Exploding Palm for the Monk does 65% over 3, which is a 21% per second. So, well, that one's lower, but that also has an explosion component if they die while it's ticking. So, Haunt has the added ability that those abilities don't have it being directed, can hit multiple enemies. Of course, Energy Twister can hit multiple enemies, but it's kind of an erratic flight path. Compared to Rend of the Barbarian, though, that's the strongest one so far. At 210% damage over 3 seconds, that's 70% weapon damage per second that it's doing. Definitely the strongest one, but it is a Fury spender, and it does have an AoE component, but it is very short range, so you have to think about that. The advantage of Haunt being it's a ranged ability, and you can get it out there, and you can get it on multiple enemies of your choice. So obviously each one going to have different damage components, but going to have their own pluses and minuses.
The crown is in my keeping. Direct me now to the Lost King.
At last. With it, you can unlock the sealed door in the room where you rescued me and enter the royal crypts. When you find the Skeleton King, place the crown atop his head and destroy him.
The Skeleton King's sickness infects this land. I will put an end to it and find the star.
So what's interesting is all of my physical realm abilities are not changing. 180, 150. Haunt is the only one that continues to change over time so far that I can tell. Many of the other spirit realms don't really do damage except for here, Barrage. So that's probably why it's a little different, being only one of 2 spirit realm abilities that do damage. Hets are all the same. So it's kind of interesting how this class plays and how it gains power. Alright, so what I'm going to do here let's replace Grasp with Horrify. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and go through some of the crypts to gain some more experience, hopefully maybe get some more abilities for our fight with the Skeleton King, and kind of show off Horrify. I'll probably be getting rid of it quickly, just because I want to be able to do more damage with something like Grasping. Oh, that worked very nice. Alright, let's try Horrify. There was the mask. They're still coming after me. Within 12 yards. Let's get up close. There we go. Apparently it's a one-shot hit, where I have to get right up on them, and I thought for the 5 seconds it might scare off everything near me, but no, it's apparently while they're right on top of me, I can cast this, get rid of them, get them to go away. So it's kind of an emergency cooldown kind of thing, where every 20 seconds, if the monsters are getting right up on you, you can elect to get rid of them. Of course, I could have done a lot more good there with Grasp, because it could have done damage over time to that entire group, rather than me have to try and single target them with Haunt and Poison Dart here. So I will go ahead and get rid of that now, because now that I've seen how it works. It's not bad, but not the greatest. Kind of wanting to go back to the zombie dogs at some point, but the AoE component on this is so good. The damage over time, I'm finding that very fun, actually. Maybe I just like watching my enemies suffer slowly. That would explain why I like my Warlock. Almost makes me wish I would have tried the Witch Doctor sooner. He pretty much was the last class I chose, mainly because I was kind of a little daunted by him, kind of a little afraid to really get into him, because I was afraid I wouldn't really like him, or wouldn't be able to talk too much about him and his skills and how they work together. But you know, now that I'm actually using them, they feel fairly intuitive. I don't really have a problem with it. It's just usually when you're looking at damages over time on paper and things like that and how they work together, they can definitely seem daunting. But I'm definitely glad I've played him. He's gaining more favor from me by the moment here. I have to say, I'm not really sure which class I want to pick first. I was probably thinking Wizard. And when I played the Barbarian, he was a very close second because of how strong he was. I don't know, when I watched footage of the Monk and played the Monk, he was a contender as well. I really like the quick movement he has, the combos he has. Oh, I thought those two skeletons were standing on each other's shoulders there for a moment. It's going to be a tough call, honestly. I'm still not entirely sure which class I'm going to want to try first. Though I hate to say it, even though I am really liking these abilities and liking playing the Demon Hunter, or not Demon Hunter, sorry, Witch Doctor now, and I did like the Demon Hunter. You know, I like the traps and all that, the Demon Hunter. I'm just not sure if Witch Doctor will be first for me. I may still go back to Wizard and try that. Why, oh why am I picking up gray equipment? Alright, what do I have? 4 experience. 4 experience. Okay, I do already have experience rings. That's fine. I would like to wear that damage ring, but I'm really hoping to level up as quickly as possible. Try and get as much done here in one video or one sitting. Although each class I have to go back and play through with the level 13 and show you guys all the abilities and the builds you can create on that. Or at least the builds I made. Oh, look how quickly they die. That is the quickest I've ever killed a group of imps. Of course, they didn't disperse like they usually do. They just kind of stood there and took it. Cold.
Needs more.
Go away. Ow. You, stay snared. Ah! You know what? Snare. Take some damage and get away from me. There we go. Oh, hello. No. What? Full health. Oh well, he's dead now. any weapons with more damage? No. No. Two-handed and it's still not as much. Just shows you the procs on one hand can sometimes be much better. No, nothing from the looks of it. Just do a quick glance here. Okay. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to apologize. Apparently, I accidentally alt-tabbed out of Diablo 3, and Diablo 3 did not like that, especially with, I'm pretty sure it was because Fraps was running. I got some DirectX errors. It couldn't reinitialize.
My dearest Heydrich, do not feel despair, my love. You did everything you could. Our time together meant more than words can say. But in the end, fate is a cruel mistress. Your strength is needed to end the horrors that beset this world. My final wish is that you find your path. Love always. Mira.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is, we have pretty much explored most of those tombs. I'm not going to go back and do that and waste more time. We're just going to go ahead and continue the story here at the Cathedral Gardens. Now this has pretty much been all in one sitting, kind of like how I did the Wizard playthrough. That was kind of all one sitting when I first got in. I couldn't help it. I was excited. And tonight I have more time than usual, no raids, no work, so it's kind of nice to just be able to sit and do this all at once instead of splitting it across. So I'm not really sure which video commentary this will be put on, but I want to let you know when those lapses happen, kind of explain it so you don't think you're maybe missing footage. You know, you look at one part and then all of a sudden I'm further along and you might think, oh, did you miss a part of the playthrough? No. No, I just seem to have technical issues. So I can already tell by that circle of people that's where one of those monsters is going to pop up here.
Need more time.
The unburied. I do love the ability of Haunt to jump. Now, I did talk about Haunt actually getting weaker as the time goes up. However, there is one advantage to that time going up. As monsters die quickly in cases like this, the slower time means that it won't have as many monsters that it can jump between. So when that goes up to around 15 seconds, that means that I'm going to be able to put a few out there, and they're just going to start jumping to monsters left and right. So the overall damage per second, honestly, since it's going up by 5% every level, and then only every few levels going up by another second, its overall damage is going to jump in waves. You know, it's going to go up for a bit, then go back down. It's probably going to stay the same as it was when I first got it, roughly, as far as rough damage per second is concerned. So it's not like the ability is going to get weak. It's going to stay relatively as strong as it has been. It's just the way that it does its damage is going to change. And I kind of like that that it'll go up and hurt more monsters as I go along. Because as I saw there when I killed one of those bats, it had enough time to basically jump to a bat for maybe 1 second and then it was done. So not really doing a lot of damage there. And later it will be able to like go between the two of them and help me kill them. So there are advantages to damage going over a longer period of time. What I do like about this is when it comes to poison damages and things like that, a lot of the time seem to be a lot closer. When you look at Diablo 2, especially when they did Lord of Destruction and starting doing talismans and things like that that you could hold in your inventory, you could start doing poison damage. Poison was not exactly intuitive, because each different poison would do damage over, X damage over Y seconds, and that both numbers were variable. In this, the damage numbers appear to be very close together, at least in the beginning. It's only over a couple seconds, but in Diablo 2 you could run into something that did 100 damage over 2 seconds, and another that did 120 over 10 seconds, and you'd kind of have to calculate which is better, and of course when you stacked them, the calculations got really messy. You'd have to calculate the total number of damage, and then, to tell you the truth, I never really bothered to look at what the formula was, because my eyes just started kind of glossing over at a point where the damage and the time would you'd have to put into this equation to figure out what was the actual damage you were doing and over how much time you were doing it. And it probably really wasn't that difficult to figure out. Just at the time when I was playing Diablo 2, it wasn't something that I was interested in figuring out. But it wasn't intuitive. I mean, when you looked at it, you couldn't tell at a glance, right away what was better. And in this, it looks like they're trying to resolve issues like that. So, now that I've rambled a bit about poison damage, what we've actually got here is a new ability. In the physical realm, fire bats, 85 mana. Call forth a swarm of fiery bats. A swarm of fiery bats burn enemies in front of you for 100% weapon damage as fire. So now we're actually, instead of doing the realm of poison, we're going to be doing the realm of fire. And we're going to replace our poison dart to kind of see exactly how that works, because if you think about it, it's 100% weapon damage. It's less than any other physical realm ability I have. That's 100 plus 80, 180 over time, 150 with each toad, 140 with each zombie with the potential to hit more enemies. The spider's 4 for 38. So this ability
needs more time.
Of course, I can't attack just yet because of the cooldown. There we go. We'll have to see what the trade-off on that is. So let's go ahead and take a look at it now. There you go. So it's another ability that does damage over time. It doesn't say how often it ticks, but we will find out. If that's 100 each tick, or is that 100 spread out over... Well, let's look. It's very quick damage, that much is certain. Reminds me of Disintegrate or Rapid Fire. That was one thing about Rapid Fire. I'm really hoping that they increase the damage Rapid Fire does for the cost of hatred that it has. I liked Rapid Fire, but the fact that it only hits one target, where, look at Fire Bats. This just hit a whole group of enemies in a cone. I feel sorry for those bats. They're just flying right into my fire like moths to a zapper. But Rapid Fire, only hit one target and then didn't feel like it was doing a lot of damage to that one target, whereas Disintegrate could hit enemies in a line. This can hit an enemy in a group of enemies in a cone. The description said it did over 200 weapon damage, but it just didn't feel like it was. Of course, again, that could have been because I didn't have any real decent weapons for a while. Once I started dual wielding, it started feeling better because I was hitting more often. This is a nice skill. I just kind of wish it would tell you how often it ticks. I don't think Disintegrate did either, though, to be honest. So put that down, put Haunt down, and... Well, if I want damage over time, that's certainly an ability that fits the bill. Burn! Yeah, that is hitting hard per tick, too.
My name is Lachdanan, and I'm cursed. Once the captain of King Leoric's army, I lived only to honor my land and my king. No man has a greater love for his king than I had for mine, even as I drove my blade through his dark and corrupted heart.
Maintain your incantations. He will soon turn.